With the increasing patient expectations and the ever-evolving technology, it has become an uphill task to get a happy patient like this. This is a very common scenario faced by every ophthalmologist.
Frankly speaking, I'm not very happy. After doing so much with the surgery, the vision is not very clear.
But you're able to read the last line.
Yeah, but it's not very clear.
Okay, don't worry madam. The surgery has gone perfectly okay. There's no reason for you not to see clearly. I'll give a drop to you. Start using it. You'll feel better.
The end result is an unhappy patient, as the patient feels he is not getting his money's worth and his vision is not as good as he had expected, and an unhappy doctor who wonders why is the patient so unhappy in spite of having a 6x6 vision. But is 6x6 vision everything? Or is there something beyond 6x6? How important are the visual quality parameters like the point spread function, optical transfer function in determining the outcome of our surgery and ultimately patient satisfaction? We encountered a 58-year-old male patient who underwent uneventful phacoemulsification in both his eyes. He presented with complaints of severe discomfort, lack of crispness of vision, and blurring of vision intermittently. On examination, his visual acuity was 6x6 for distance and N6 for near with a near add of plus 2.5 diopters. His ocular examination revealed meibomian gland dysfunction with blocked orifices. Dry eye workup of the patient, which included a Schirmer's test, tear breakup time, meibography, and tear film interferometry, revealed he had evaporative dry eye with a poor lipid layer as seen on the interferometer, and this was responsible for an irregular ocular surface causing scattering of light, giving rise to intermittent blurring of vision. He had a poor point spread function. This shows how the tears influence the quality of vision. The patient was then treated with hot fomentation and lubricants, which improved the quality of the tear film as seen by an increase in the interferometric color unit scores with resultant improvement in quality of vision. Meibomian gland dysfunction is the leading cause of dry eye throughout the world. Careful examination of the tear film and appropriate management will help attain results we desire and will give us happy patients. The second case was a 22-year-old female who presented to us with bilateral posterior subcapsular cataracts. She underwent phacoemulsification with a toric multifocal intraocular lens implantation in the left eye. Post-surgery, she complained of glare. The toric multifocal intraocular lens was at 80 degrees against a planned axis of 81 degrees, which ruled out intraocular lens misalignment as the cause of glare. Aberrometry revealed high internal, corneal, and total aberrations. Contact lens trial using soft and rigid gas-permeable lenses was done, as it would regularize the surface, leading to a decrease in glare if it was due to a poor tear film quality. But such a trial did not improve the visual quality. Spectral domain OCT was performed. The macular scan showed a normal foveal contour. The inner segment-outer segment layer seemed thinned out in the subfoveal area with an irregularity in the cone outer segment tips in both eyes. Full field ERG was normal in both eyes. A multifocal ERG showed a generalized blunting of the cones in the central 5 to 15 degree rings. Considering the clinical features and findings on the OCT and electrophysiology, a diagnosis of occult macular dystrophy was made. The multifocal intraocular lens was a confounding factor which delayed the detection of the occult macular dystrophy. Thus, it is important to think out of the box and look beyond the obvious. A 56-year-old male patient with bilateral multifocal intraocular lens implanted elsewhere presented to us with complaints of glare and double vision at times. His unaided visual acuity in both eyes was 6 by 6 for distance and N6 for near. The multifocal intraocular lenses were well centered in both eyes. His corneal topography revealed posterior elevation, and ray tracing aberrometry showed high aberrations on the cornea, and the optical scatter index was 3 in the right eye and 3.6 in the left eye. This was not an ideal patient for multifocal intraocular lens implantation. This case shows the importance of performing corneal topography before a premier intraocular lens surgery. A patient with 6 by 6 vision post-surgery may present with a myriad of symptoms. It is up to us to decode the cause rather than to just brush the patient off. In an era where customization has reached new heights, from designer clothes to designer cars, it is time we customize our treatment strategies for our patients. One day we will be on the other side. So let us improve things for our own future. Let us be patient-centric. Let us work towards having 6 by 6 happy patients.